Down the high crime rate in the Western Cape, especially murder, hundreds of law enforcement advancement plan officers have been deployed in hotspot areas across the province. And now, to bolster numbers and support the SAPS, a reaction unit has been launched to deal with gang flare-ups. The unit has already made several arrests and confiscated guns and ammunition. The Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, and MEC of Police Oversight and Community Safety, Regan Allen, went on a ride-along with the unit in some of the problem areas. Our senior reporter, Ayesha Ismail, was there.
The reaction unit, which is made up of LEAP officers, goes where and when they are needed. They are deployed temporarily to stabilize areas and act as a backup to SAPS. With the flare-up of gang violence and shootings in Steenberg, Lavender Hill and Grassy Park, the unit was redeployed.
We've got visible policing, cars are being stopped and searched, and of course visible policing definitely makes a difference. Ladies just come up to me to say 2 nights without shooting, it's amazing. But we know that we are here because gang violence is taking lives of our citizens.
Winde insists more police officers and resources are needed to fight crime in the province.
Policing and funding of policing is not our mandate, but our people are dying. So we take money away from our overall budget, which at the end of the day probably comes from a bit of health, a bit of education, a bit of economic development, to put it into policing to make sure that we have a safer society.
He says 1,000 LEAP officers have been deployed to murder hotspots like Khayelitsha, Langa, Kraaifontain and Mitchells Plain. The aim is to halve the murder rate by 2029.
We know in Khayelitsha there's a 14% vacancy rate amongst the South African Police Service. So we know how the LEAP officers are bolstering the work of SAPS over there, but we are working in terms of our engagements with the neighborhood watches, in terms of CPFs, working with organizations like the KDF in order to ensure that we create a sense of safety in our communities. So it is not only here, it's across the province.
But residents in Lavender Hill say, while they welcome the extra protection, they believe gangsters will always have the upper hand because they live in the very communities that they terrorize, kill and sell drugs to. Ayesha Ismail, Cape Town.